Alright, I'm gonna show you how to do the new raids, or the entrati vaults, whatever you want to call them.
Who, me?
The netracell.
For an old guy to build all this, just to have somewhere to keep his goodies, they gotta be worth something to him. And I don't mean money.
Alright, so now he's done talking. So to do these new netracells, think of it like an ISO vault, the Best of the Goth mission, Dragon vaults, all in one. Oh yeah, and as you can see there, you can get shards from this. Rega and Tau. You cannot get the new shards though, the purple, the green, and the orange. You get both shards from the new helmet segment, and you make both shards with these. You get the new helmet segment from the bird vendor, and you get access to said segment at rank 2 with these guys. You unlock this place after completing Whispers in the Walls. Alright, so what are you gonna expect? What to expect when you go into the netracells? A lot of mechs and man the walls enemies. You're also going to need to have. You can do the solo. DE just suggests you do in a squad, but fuck what DE says. I prefer solo. While you're in here, I suggest you go and find the 2 computers, follow the white waypoints, because that will pinpoint the location you need to be for the bounty, and then you kill all the enemies in there. If you're in a squad, I'd suggest having someone with Orc and Eye so they can find the little things you can turn in for standing as you're running this. But if you're solo, it's better to run with Call. I'm going to be running with Orc and Ivo because I can kill easily with my Bubonico anyway, so I don't really need Call. I'll show the builds that I'll be running for this. You don't need exactly this setup, but it does come in handy. Same thing for the operator. I'll show the operator because I do use my operator here because there is an enemy in here that does need operator to kill it. And that's the little phantom guy. He will mimic your warframe. So if you see your Grimoire, also as your book, floating, if you interact with it, it will summon a ghost boss fight where it mimics your warframe. So yeah, you gotta take down its health bar, and then you have to go find the book and destroy the book with your operator. Take too long to destroy the book, it will go back to full health again and try to kill you again. Alright, so we'll go over weapon. Amp doesn't matter, I just prefer 777. The name is just a reference to a weapon from our game. An acid shotgun was the name of the weapon. Really good shotgun from that game. Alright, elevate is just so I always run elevate, even when I'm not doing this. Like, every mission I always have elevate. Lockdown I always run, except when I'm doing Plague Star or I'm running Rhino, because you can suck in all the enemies and buff your skin, or you can pull the Hematite out of the boil faster. That's why I run Lockdown. And also, Lockdown affects Demless, and it affects the Bombless. So, there's that. Virtus Fury and Virtus Strike, because it just makes Stamp do more damage. If you're wondering Focus School, I'm running Matter Army because of Void Strike. That is why I'm running Matter Army. So when the book spawns, I just pump my op, Void Strike, shoot it once, done. Now you're probably wondering, how am I getting energy? I am running Nourish Rev. Now, in the vault, it's kind of like Zerman. There's a lot of crates everywhere, and since these new keys in these missions damage you over time, I can consistently proc Nourish, so I don't even need to use an AoE weapon. I just walk for the vaults, and everything around me just blows up. You'll see when we get in there. And then since there is so many enemies in here and so many enemies hit like a truck in here, it's best to use the tanky frame. I did solo with Hildren, but because of the unpredictableness of the keys, and I don't want to risk a no shield key, I go with Rev. Shards, doesn't matter, run whatever you want. I just like those shards because it synergies so well with my build, for all my builds, including my Archon Killer. This is the setup that I run for it. There's an interesting thing with Adapt, where for some reason adapt, I don't know what it is. But adapt affects Mesmer, not by much, slightly. It slightly increases the amount of damage a charge can absorb before it is consumed. So keep in mind that. And also, I like using my builds in SP2, so say violence comes up and disables my shit, that comes in handy. Same thing for the Guardian. So Guardian's here. And I don't like rolling guard, because I roll and I bullet jump too much, but I'll waste my rolling guard before I get to the instance where I would need to use rolling. Archon Stretch, reason why that exists is whenever a Shock Eximus is stupid enough to shock me, I proc it, or my Sentinel will proc it, or if I have a Wisp in my squad, the Wisp will proc Archon Stretch. I have not noticed if the zapping lightning, you'll see what I mean by the lightning, procs Archon Stretch yet. I have not AFK'd to see what that procs, if that procs it. I will experiment with that later on and then tell you in one of my videos if it does or not. Or in this video, I could probably discover it if I get that key. I can just AFK. Archon Continuity is just so if an enemy is stupid enough to poison me, they get corrosive as their punishment. This is, say my Mesmer skin gets deactivated and a melee enemy comes up and hits me, he gets stun locked. And then after he gets stun locked, that electricity will chain to everything that a bit of enemies around me, so those enemies also get stun locked. This also procs Archon Stretch. Companion, doesn't matter, but since I run Archon Stretch Rev, I was like, you know what, Doriga. So here's the build for Doriga. Weapon doesn't matter, I just like Vergos. If you don't have a ribbon for Vergos, don't worry, you don't need one. You can just remove this for a cold mod, like that. And then you can just replace this with a heat mod. The reason why Vigilante Supplies is there is, say I'm using weapon but doesn't have Vig Supplies, I still get the Vig Supplies buff. Now weapons that do have Vig Supplies, and I have that on, Vig Supplies is just there to either affect the weapon even more because of ammo problems, or because I like to use them in circuit, and you cannot have a companion in circuit, so I get Vig Supplies on the weapon for that. Alright, let's look at the Bubonico build. Now this is the Bubonico build. If you do not have Atomic Fallout, I highly suggest swapping that out for Vicious Spread. Now, if you don't have a ribbon, just swap this out for a reg heat mod, like the heat for shotguns, Scattering Inferno, Blaze, any of that. Atomic Fallout is just there for the radiation, and also since it's a battery-based weapon, it does not have ammo. So ammo maximum mods like Ammo Drum do not affect it, but magazine capacity mods do affect it, because you're increasing its base magazine. Like if we go to magazine, wherever that is, looking at that. Shot. Yeah, it won't show in here. It won't show in here apparently in the stats, but usually Bubonico only has like 25 shots, whereas mine has 30, I think 39 or 38. We'll see when we get in there. But yeah, Latum is just there to kill the mechs. That's its only purpose. And the Phantom guy. You'll see the Phantom guy. If you're wondering the build in Latum, here's the build in Latum. If you're wondering why Auger Pack, free shields. If you're wondering why Karna Stinger, status immunity, because I like using Latum on almost all my frames. So frames that aren't status immune, or frames that don't have ignore damage button like Rev, I get free shields from Walker. Fire rate, so it just shoots faster. Reload, one holster, so I don't have to reload, it just auto reloads for me. Minus critical chance because on its final evolution, at base you get 50% chance to do 2000% more damage when not landing a crit. Now, melee you can run whatever you want, just like this entire setup. This is not mandatory, this is just what I run. I personally prefer Stropha because then what I can do is if an Xmas spawns or an enemy that can't be killed by Bubonico, or can, it's just annoying, I Stropha, done. One hit. So here's the build for Stropha. Now I haven't fully decided what is the best arcane for Stropha yet. I'm going to unlock all the arcanes, test it, and then I'll tell you. But right now I'm just using melee exposure. So far I find Dreamer's Wrath to be the best Tennokai mod. Pairs on, doesn't matter, it's just I run auto breach, runtime, and untraceable because we will be hacking a lot of things in here. So auto breach comes in handy because then I waste less ciphers. Runtime makes it easier because then I can move faster for the vault. Untraceable comes in handy so that way I don't get shot as often because I go invisible, so I can just run for the vault, get to where I need to be, and then exit cloak. So I have some breathing room while in the vaults. If you want to charge incarnate forms in the vaults, aim at the mech's shoulders. The mech's shoulders procs the incarnate form. And by mechs I don't mean the void rigs. Yes, there's void rigs in here. The Requiem mods ignore those are just there when I did glitch. Arc weaponry, doesn't matter, we won't be using arc weaponry here. If you want my mech build, I'll give you my mech build because you can use your mechs in these. So, here's my mech build. I might be getting a magnetic Ayanga instead of radiation, because I can just put in radiation right here with the radiation multi-shot. I do not know yet. And then here's my build for Archabex. Yes, it's rank 9 because I formatted it to fit in this mod. Because originally my Archabex only did radiation and viral, and I ran a critical damage mod here. Oh no, wait. No, I ran brain part. I ran a critical chance mod here. Yeah, I ran that. So I originally had that much critical chance. But with the new containment breach, I run containment breach because that's radiation, heat, and viral on the same Archabex, which is pretty nice. Alright, gear wheel wise, not mandatory, but I highly suggest energy store pads and ciphers. You will be hacking a lot in this. On-call doesn't matter because you can't use your on-call in here. But yeah, like I said, if you're doing this solo, I'd suggest either call or Orc-and-I. If you're in a squad, someone with call and the rest with full. And someone with Orc-and-I. The rest don't need to all run Orc-and-I, but at least someone with call and Orc-and-I.
Yes? How long someone has to live to get
You
his
can do
hands on
5
this
of
much
these
stuff?
a day.
I don't know.
Well, not 5 of these a day. 5 of these every
You
week.
got it.
You can do 5 of these every week. I've already done my 5. I'm just redoing it just to record a video. I'm just getting your heads up there. Yeah, before we head in, if you were wondering about my Archon charge because I moved too fast, energy over effectiveness, casting speed because Rev's Mesmer skin is very slow at casting, ability strength, and passive HP regeneration. So say, because I just like having passive HP regeneration on every frame, because it's nice. And if an enemy disables my Mesmer skin, and I take heavy fire, I can just passively regen health over time. Because there are enemies that can disable your stuff, so be aware about that. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Belk and Nyx are coming in the Prime Resurgence soon. Now, before you get excited and be like, oh, I'm gonna buy myself Nyx and Valk relics. Do not. It is a waste of Aya. Valk and Nyx relics are not vaulted. They are permanently available in the Railjack missions. So do not waste your Aya on them. Yeah, so see? You take damage and also suffer bleed status. I don't care. I have Mesmer. Extra Eximus units have been summoned to the battle. Cool.
Listen,
bring it on.
You're
I
not
get
getting out of
energy.
the anchor hold without all 4 key glyphs.
Slain enemies explode with void energy. Okay, so Tau damage. Cool. I have Mesmer skin, and if I'm not playing Rev, adaptation gives me resistance to Tau damage, and also gives me resistance to, and the Umbra set gives me resistance to Tau damage, because for some reason void damage in the code is classified as Tau damage. High current electricity targets the bearer every few seconds. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about where it just
You got your
strikes me.
glyphs. So, hit the terminal to exit into the labs. If you want to find out what Albrecht was
Yeah,
up
so
to
this
in that
electricity
netracell,
one will zap
you'll
me.
need one
And
of
when
each key glyph.
Kind of like Plankton, the ICU zap meme, think of that. But to you, constantly. Or better yet, that, you know what annoying electricity thing from Railjack that zaps you? Yeah, it's that thing. It follows you. Oh, and a hotfix. Yeah, see? There he is. Alright, so he doesn't proc Archon Stretch.
The
Good
netracell is
to know.
deep
So,
in this lab
well,
maze.
there's your answer. He doesn't.
Get control of a few terminals.
But
That'll help
what he
you
will do
zero in
is
on
proc my Norwich. So I can run through his bulk like the Juggernaut from X-Men. And crates along the way will be destroyed. Mind you, I'm taking less damage because of my key glyphs, and the only key glyph I have on me that's damage-wise is the shock one. But if you have the health drain one, and the take damage whenever you're walking one, it will constantly proc Norwich. Alright, so this is what I mean by there's a mech that will spawn in here, and I'd suggest you kill him, because if you don't, they will summon a Void Rick, and you will have to kill that thing. I'm gonna organize so that way I have these marked for when I decide to come back here after the vault run. So after the vault run's done, I can go and grab those. But if they're in my area, like if they're near me as I'm doing the vaults, I'll just grab it. If you want to know the best farm in the game for farming standing for the new guys, I'd suggest Exterminate, because you can just go in there, complete the objective, or an eye, and then pick up all these little things that I just... of one of the things I just picked up. Trade them in for standing. Wait for a reset, rinse, repeat. Yeah, you go to these panels, and then you hack these panels, and it reveals where you need to go. And if he ever changes this where you can't cipher these anymore, just spam X. Alright, there's also like a hidden room back here, so if there's speak to the devil. I was like, if you ever see this room, check back here, you might find a Boca. And speak of the devil, there was a Boca. I just have to wait for this door to open up again. Now you're gonna get, when you enter this area, you're gonna have these little kill rings. And you have to kill enemies in here. And then you, after a certain amount of time, you'll have to go and find a little necromech drone, and you'll have to destroy that to continue the process. It doesn't matter how you destroy it, you just have to kill it. Weapons, AoE, abilities, just has to be destroyed. So that's why I also run North usually. Because if I take damage, it triggers North damage retaliation, which then blows that thing up, so I don't have to.
I was afraid of this. Netracell security system won't open with all the buttons around. Clear them out. And
so,
make
yeah.
sure the system can see you doing it.
So you just have to kill these guys. Now bonus Brev is if anything stupid enough to strike me, they just goes. Accelerate isotope. Nice. Knuckle pistol mod.
Are reinforcing the netracell. Your hands are tied until you knock them out.
It's an art thing too, which is nice about stroke rise. It can make the enemy topple over and So if it's an enemy annoying you and you need some breathing room, if it doesn't kill them, it'll make them fall on their ass and eat shit like you saw that mech do. And there's another reason why I like Bubonico. I didn't even have to look for that drone. I just aimed in the general direction of where it was and killed it. I just looked in this direction. That was enough to kill it. Oh, mind me, see, these new enemies, the fragment, you can just slide under them like that. So if they're blocking your way, or just slide under them. Unfortunately, both guy didn't spawn. But you'll know if the book guy spawns. Because you get dialogue saying
Necromites are slowing us down.
yeah, you'll get dialogue from him saying if he sees that Grimoire, he's gonna bolt. Cause it's a predator. And then when you click it, it will summon a boss. It will spawn in a boss that mimics your warform. It doesn't have the same ability. It could be Revenant, like you could be playing Revenant like I am, and it could have Atlas's Wall. Or something. It takes a random ability from random warframe and merges it with Stalker's abilities. And then expands stuff. And it uses the Azotane. Dewberry. Oh. Forgot to re-click on that stuff. And then it will attack. Kill it is like once and then finding the book and then destroying it with your offer. All you have to do is just shoot the thing once it spawns. So another reason why you grab it. That thing spawns, his Mesmer skin can put that thing to sleep, so I don't have to worry about it spamming its abilities. I can just wail into it with damage. Standing there. And there we go. Now, when it comes out with this notification, you search the netracell like it says. Come up to here.
Albrecht didn't want anyone. I want to know why.
And then here. Oh yeah, that also reminds me, if you're in a squad, be careful, because it's not just any opens this room in the beginning where you need the glyphs. It's a specific key. So if you can tank all the keys, you're in a squad with someone that doesn't know what they're doing, best to carry all the keys, just in case they don't get to the location, you can open the room. And since this is like an arc on Hunt, if you die, you don't complete it. And you die, once you die, you're dead. There is no more, you know. And ignore me placing a waypoint, that's just instinctual because I was helping somebody run this in a squad, and I usually waypoint where the loot drops. So just ignore that. I usually solo this, but when my buddies are on, I run it with them. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not going to get anything from this because I've already done 5 of these, but you can get shards from this. And it's a weekly thing. I'm grabbing these last 2 Orc and Eye mark things before Lepo, because that'll come handy for me to rank up. Holy moly. Orc and I marked it all the way over there. Yeah, this is why if you're gonna run it solo, it's better to run call, because how far Orc and I can run work things. But if you're in a squad, it's better to have someone with Orc and I, because you can switch your focus in. You can have someone grab the Orc and I reward, and then have someone else run call. Now, if you're wondering how you get in that room, right there, that's actually quite simple. That one down there. You just have to find a vent. There it is. Looking for it. It's this vent, and then you go down here. And then while you're down here, you grab that. And then you can just leave. Back through here. Now for me to operate dash, I'm not even gonna entertain that. I mean, I could stay there and fight the Necromech, but I don't want this video to be longer than it should be. And also, you don't get anything from killing mechs, like in other missions where you get the drops. I was gonna call it. Whatever it's called. You know, where you get the... How should I name it? The things you trade into Lloyd and you can buy shit from the shop. Yeah, mechs don't drop that. They don't drop that in here. Alright, I'm also going to show you another secret right before extract, since it's like right at extraction. I can easily just show you that at extract and then end the video and post it. It's like right at extraction. And it's also another way to get those medallion things. Okay, so while you're here, jump here, do that, get in there, go down here, do that, and there you go. And there you go. That's how you do the new entrati vaults, or the new ranks, whatever you want to call them.